Hey guys, it's Amour. I'm back with my Pokemon Amigurumi series. You may remember Snorlax, Pikachu, Butterfree, and Psyduck. And now my latest, it's Clefairy Amigurumi. You can find all the free crochet patterns on my blog, amiamour.com, along with the video tutorials here on my channel. Clefairy has a curl on its head and also cute oval eyes and cheeks, and on its back he has a swirly tail and two cute wings. And don't forget to like and subscribe to catch all my tutorials. Alright, what are we waiting for? Let's get started! Here are the materials you'll need. With pink yarn for the body, you'll make a slip knot for your crochet hook, and you will chain 2, that's 1 and 2, and into our first chain we will do 6 single crochet stitches, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then we can pull on the chain to make it be tight, and use a stitch marker to mark the end of our last stitch. I like to use a bobby pin. Now for round 2, we'll do 2 in each stitch all the way around. So in our very first stitch, we will go ahead and do 1 and 2. In our next stitch is 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and then our very last stitch we will do 1 and 2, and now we should have 12 single crochet stitches around. Now for round 3, our pattern is going to be 2, 1, 2, 1, and repeat the pattern all the way around. So it's 1 and 2, and just 1 in our next stitch, 1 and 2, and just 1, and continue to repeat the pattern all the way around, and at the end you should have 18 single crochet stitches. Now for round 4, our pattern is 2, and then in our next stitch just 1 stitch, and then repeat the pattern again. So that's 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Repeat the pattern again. It's 2, 1 and 2, and then just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in our very last stitch 8, and now we should have 20 single crochet stitches all the way around. For rounds 5 to 10 we will stay at 20, so it's just 1 in each stitch all the way around. So go ahead and work up your stitches, and I will meet you at the end of round 10. So here's our body so far. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds. Now for round 11, our pattern is going to be a decrease, and then in our next 8, just 1 stitch and repeat the pattern again. So here is our first decrease, and then we will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we are going to decrease again, and then we're going to do single crochet across the rest of the round. That's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now we should have 18 single crochet stitches around. For round 12, our pattern's a decrease and then single crochet stitch, and then repeat the pattern all the way around, and you should have 12 single crochet stitches at the end. So here's our first decrease, and then just one single crochet stitch, repeat the pattern again, a decrease, and then a single crochet stitch, and continue to repeat around. For round 13, we will do single crochet decrease all the way around. So that is going to be 1 and a second single crochet decrease, 3, 4, 5, and then our very last single crochet decrease, that is 6, and you will cut off the long tail and fasten off. And here is our Clefairy body completed. For the head curl, we are going to do 6 single crochet stitch into the magic ring. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we can go ahead and pull the ring tight. And now for rounds 2 to 10, we're just going to stay at 6 single crochet stitches. So we're just going to work up 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we'll want to make sure to flip it that it's on the correct side is showing on the outside. And continue to work up your stitches for the rest of the rounds, and I will meet you at the end of round 10. And here's how your head curl should look like, and we can go ahead and cut a long tail and fasten off. And then later we can go ahead and curl our head, and then it should go on our Clefairy later. For the arm, you will do 4 single crochet stitch into the magic ring. So that's 1 and 2, 3, and 4. Now for round 2, our pattern is going to be 2 and then 1, 1, 1, and you'll have 5 single crochet stitches. So in our first stitch, it's going to be 1 and 2, and then in our next 3, it will be 1, 1, and 1. And then we can go ahead and flip it so our correct side is on the outside. And for round 3, we'll just stay at 5 single crochet stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you can make a slip stitch to fasten off at the end. We'll fasten off. And here is our arm completed, and you want to make 2. For the leg, you will do 6 single crochet stitch into the magic ring. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And go ahead and pull the ring tight. Now we will do a slip stitch to join to our next stitch. So go ahead and do a slip stitch. Now for round 2, we will go into our back loop only. And so if we look at our stitches, this was before going through both loops, and now the back loop is just that one loop in the very back. So that's back and front. So we'll go into the back loop and do 1 single crochet stitch all the way around. So we'll go into the back loop again. That's just 1 loop. Okay, that's our second one, and third, 4, 5, and now in our very last stitch in our back loop, that's our 6th one. Now if we look, we can see that there's a ridge that shows that's where the front loops were because we went into the back loop. This is how it looks like. For round 3, our pattern is 2, 1, 1, repeat the pattern again. So we'll go through both loops now. That's 1 and 2, and 1 and 1. Repeat the pattern again. It's 1 and 2, and now it's 1 and 1. So that's 1 and 1 single crochet stitch into our very last stitch, and now I can slip stitch into our next stitch to fasten off. And this is our leg completed, and you'll want to make 2. For the ear with dark brown yarn, you will do 4 single crochet stitch into the magic ring. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you're going to close your ring tight. For round 2, our pattern is going to be 2 and 1, 2 and 1, and you'll have 6 single crochet stitches at the end. So in our very first stitch, it is going to be 1 and 2, and then just 1 in our next stitch, and then repeat the pattern again. It's going to be 1 and 2, and then when we get to our last stitch, we're going to go ahead and change to pink yarn. So we will prep our pink yarn by making a slip knot. And now when we do our very last stitch, we will go ahead and do a single crochet stitch. We will insert our hook, yarn over and pull out, but before we finish the single crochet stitch, we will grab our new yarn and pull it through to finish our single crochet stitch. Now we're ready to work with pink yarn. And I'm going to put my stitch marker back. Now for round 3, our pattern is going to be 2 in our very first stitch, so that's 1 and 2, and then just 1 and 1, and repeat the pattern again. It's 2 in our next stitch, it's 1 and 2, and 1 and 1 in our very last stitch. For round 4, our pattern is going to be 1 and 2, and in our next 3, just 1. So that is 1, 2, and 3. Repeat the pattern again. It's going to be 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. And now we should have 10 single crochet stitches. Can go ahead and cut off the brown yarn, and for round 5 we are going to do single crochet in the next 7 only. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and you can slip stitch and then cut a scissor to fasten off. And here is our ear completed, and you want to make 2. For the tail, you will do 6 single crochet stitch into the magic ring. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and go ahead and close up your ring. For rounds 2 to 20, we are going to just stay at 6 single crochet stitches. So go ahead and work up 1 in each stitch all the way around, and I will meet you at the end of round 20. Here is how our tail looks like after round 20. And go ahead and cut off a long tail, and we'll want to roll our tail up to make a spiral and use our yarn to attach and sew it together so it will stay into place as a spiral. And then we will be ready to sew this onto our Clefairy. Now for the wing, you are going to go ahead and do 4 single crochet stitch into the magic ring. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you can pull it closed. Now go ahead and slip stitch to join to our first stitch. And now for round 2, our pattern is going to be 2 half double crochet stitches. So that's 1 and 2 in our next stitch. And then chain 2, that's 1 and 2. And then into our very same stitch, we're going to go ahead and do a slip stitch. And then in our next stitch, we'll do a slip stitch. And then you'll do 2 half double crochet stitches into our next stitch. So that's 1 and 2. Then chain 2, that's 1 and 2. And then do a slip stitch into our same stitch. Into our next stitch, do a slip stitch. And then you can cut off a long tail and fasten off. And this is our wing completed, and you'll want to make 2. For the Clefairy eyes from black felt, you'll want to cut out 2 small oval shapes. And you'll also need to cut the same shape with pink felt. And if you're curious how I'm able to cut out my felt shapes, be sure to check out my other video. Here's our finished Clefairy. Please do tag me with your projects on Instagram. I'd love to see. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.